Okay, hopefully this is working. Um, Trying a slightly different way of presenting these videos. This one is not a commander deck, it is a Canadian Highlander deck. I'm going to post a link in the description of what that format entails. But it is still 100 card singleton, which is the important part. And what I'm going to do in this video is basically I'm just going to look at a few of the cards. I think I've chosen 13 cards that I want to highlight in the deck and kind of go over them. So first and foremost, I made this an Oath of Druids deck. It's based around that, so it only has 2 creatures and then has ways to give your opponent's creatures with the Forbidden Orchard or Swan Song, things like that. But basically, it's a 2-mana enchantment, and during each player's upkeep, so it triggers for both players. Oh yeah, sorry, in Highlander it is on a one-on-one format. If that player controls fewer creatures than target opponent, the player may reveal cards from his or her library until he or she reveals a creature card. The player puts that creature into play and all other revealed cards into their graveyard. So if you don't play any creatures, it's a good way to junk everything into your graveyard once you've gotten that effect. But also you can cheat fatties into play or whatever it is that you want. I'm going to briefly say that in Canadian Highlander, this card is a point, 1 point, out of the 10 points that you have, and that's how they constrain the rarity, or sorry, not the rarity, the ban list basically. You're allowed 10 points in your deck, so this is 1 point. The other points that I have, I'm going to go over a little bit later. I'm first going to show you what we're getting. So of the 2 creatures, the first one we have is Auriok Salvagers. It's a 4-mana 2/4, so it doesn't sound very impressive. The important part is that you can return an artifact card with converted mana cost 1 or less from your graveyard to your hand. So if you manage to oath this guy into play, ideally with only 2 cards or 2 creatures in your 100 card deck, you're going to be junking a fair amount of your graveyard, and you're going to be able to find those artifacts for the value. So with that 2 mana, what you try and get in your graveyard is the Lion's Eye Diamond. Lets you sacrifice it. You have to discard your hand, but then you get 3 mana of any color to your mana pool. So with the Salvagers, it lets you sack for 3. You make 3 white, use 2 of those white to return, and basically then you can make infinite white mana, or unbounded white mana, bounded, maybe a billion, who knows. Some large amount of white mana, and then you can start using the Lion's Eye Diamond for other colors, so you can get a billion of every color if you want. So that's like your infinite mana engine. And then what you do with the Salvagers is you return something like Aether Spellbomb, which is a 1 CMC artifact, or Pyrite Spellbomb, which is a 1 CMC artifact. And since you have infinite mana, you can say, okay, well, if this is in your graveyard, you can say, okay, great, target them, use my red mana, return it to my hand with the Auriok Salvagers, burn them again, so you can burn them out. Or if there's something preventing you from burning them out, you can do the combo, but instead draw cards with the second ability, and that works also for Spellbomb. So if you're trying to use Aether Spellbomb to find Pyrite, you just use the second ability there, sacrifice it to draw a card, and you can go through your entire deck until you find your kill spell or whatever you need. These also have some early game utility of just bounce something that's attacking me, or burn something, or a planeswalker. It depends. So these have some value there, but that's basically the main way you're trying to win. the other creature we have in the deck is Sun Titan. There's a lot of targets in this deck. Some are spell bombs, some are enchantments like Pernicious Deed if you just want to keep the board clear. There's artifacts for mana, Sensei's Divining Top. There's Animate Dead if you want to try and find something else, or as well your Oath of Druids you can get back if you want to trigger it to try and find the Salvager to win. So those are our two creatures, the Sun Titan and the Auriok Salvagers, and that's all you have in the deck. So the other way we have to win are Thopter Foundry and Sword of the Meek. This is an entirely different combo, and it doesn't pair well with Oath of Druids per se, because you're basically going to be sacrificing the Sword of the Meek, making a 1/1. The 1/1 triggers the sword comes back into play, and then you can sacrifice it again. So with this combo, what you do is you spend a mana, sacrifice the sword, you gain a life, and you make 1/1. And you can do that for 1 mana, so you do that just repeatedly. As long as there's no graveyard hate, you're fine. So that's the second combo. Now, the way that these games kind of play out, they're best of 3 with no sideboard. So you can use this as your game 1 plan, or use the Oath of Druids as your game 1 plan, and then switch for the second game. So what other cards are pointed? I have Balance in the deck because I'm playing a fair amount of artifact mana with like Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond, which are going to reduce your hand size, as well as Signets, which mean you don't have to necessarily play lands, and you don't really play any creatures. This is a good way to just reset the board and buy you time to get to your combo piece. Balance is 1 point. We also have Dig Through Time. There are other options in the 1 point, like draw effects spells. I figured Dig Through Time is the best because I get to look at 7, I get to choose 2, I get to do it at instant speed, and if I've already oathed or just gone through the game, I have a lot of cards I can delve away that are inconsequential normally. Dig Through Time is 1 point. I'm coming up on tutors here. I have Enlightened Tutor. It searches your library for an artifact or an enchantment card. You reveal it and put it on top of your deck. So it's going to let you find Oath of Druids. It's going to let you find Thopter Foundry, Sword of the Meek. This is basically the best tutor in the deck, as long as you're going for the win. Enlightened Tutor is 2 points. Mystical Tutor is also 2 points. It lets you search for an instant or a sorcery. You reveal it and then put it on top. There's cards like Terminus in the deck for a miracle if you want to wipe the board, if you want to find a counterspell. If you have top in play, it lets you get it basically to your hand as long as you flip the top. It lets you find other tutors to find. It can find you the Enlightened Tutor to get your Oath of Druids, although that is very slow. So I don't know. I've never done that. It's better most of the time actually. If you want to find just Muddle the Mixture, then you can transmute. And transmute will mean, for 3 mana you can find something of CMC 2. Oath of Druids is 2. Your Thopter Sword combo is both 2, so Muddle the Mixture is also a very important piece. And then the last points we have, 3 points into Vampiric Tutor. It finds any card, you put it on top, you lose 2 life. It's only, I guess the reason it's only worse than the Enlightened Tutor is because you lose the 2 life, and often you're facing a lot of aggro decks in this format, or decks that really put the hurt on you. So that's the issue with that, but it finds you anything, which is invaluable in some scenarios. So Vampiric Tutor. So that is our deck. It's basically an Oath of Druids, Thopter Foundry deck. So it has 2 very different ways to go, and I'm pleased with it. I enjoy playing it. I should have maybe prefaced this that I don't win very much. I've mostly won with the Thopter Foundry combo just because I have lots of counter spells and I'm able just to control the board state. Oath of Druids is more difficult to win with because it requires more things to go right, but I really enjoy playing that card. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. Hope you liked it, and have a good one.